Hello, how are you all today? We are going to listen to a story from our Trees and Weather book, and then we're going to talk about a thermometer. So, let's go ahead and read our story. Our story is called Up in the Sky. I'll read the words and then I'll show you the picture because my book's kind of big. What do you see up in the sky in the daytime? Sometimes you see the sun. The sun is warm and bright. You can feel the heat. You can see the light. Sometimes you see clouds. These clouds are puffy and white. You might see birds up in the sky, and maybe a butterfly will fly by. And if you are lucky, you might see a balloon floating up in the sky, or maybe a friend with a kite up high. What do you see in the sky at night? You might see the moon. Sometimes the moon is shaped like a smile. You might see stars. Stars are bright points of light. Day happens when the sun rises. Then the sun sets. It is night. Then the sun rises again. It is day again. Day and night is a repeating pattern. The sun is in the sky during the daytime. The land and water get warm in the sunshine. The land and water stay cool in the shade. What happens to the land and the water at night? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about a thermometer now that we've read that wonderful story to get us thinking about warm and cool times. I know right now with all that snow falling out there, it's pretty cold out. So what is a thermometer? I'm grabbing my big fun one that I have here. Here you go. My thermometer actually has another side. I'll just show it to you quick. So we use a thermometer to measure something called the temperature. And when we measure the temperature, we're measuring it with a number. Now, many places in the world, or most places in the world, measure the temperature with something called Celsius. So they say it's Celsius degrees out. Here in the US, we use what's called Fahrenheit. And they're very similar. They just have to do a little bit of some math. They call it conversion to figure out what the temperature is in Fahrenheit to Celsius. So the temperature is all the same. It all feels the same. It's just what it is in Celsius might be different in Fahrenheit. In kindergarten, I really want you to know just how a thermometer works and to kind of get an idea of when the temperature is freezing, cold, cool, warm, and hot, and start thinking about that. Like if it's snowing, we probably can assume that it's somewhere in this cold or even freezing area. And if the sun's out and it's spring or early fall, we probably would land in somewhere between the warm, cool, maybe a little cold in the mornings. And then in the summer, we might get up to some hot days. Now, I will tell you that my thermometer goes to 120 degrees, and I've never seen it get that hot. I know this summer, a couple of days, it got near 100, but that's very, very rare. Same with, it's not very common for our temperature to get below zero and stay below zero. We have some days that it'll happen, but it won't be 20 below or 50, 30 below or 40 below or 50 below. So my thermometer stops at 20 below here. So that's another thing with the thermometer. So you can see I have these words: freezing, cold, cool, warm, and hot. And they break up the temperature. So anything from 32 degrees Fahrenheit to below 0, so here we go below 20 below, is considered freezing cold. And that's at 32 degrees is when water will start to freeze. And so because it's so cold out right now, the water, the moisture in those clouds up above us, that's what's causing them to freeze and fall down like snowflakes. So if it were warmer, it'd be raining. That's what Mrs. Steeler wants, is rain, not snow, because snow is messy. I know it's fun to play with, but it's messy. The cold is considered 32 degrees to like 47 degrees is what's considered cold. Cool would be 47 degrees to about 65 degrees. That would be considered cool. Warm is 65 to about 79 or 80 degrees. And anything 80 degree or above is considered hot. So that's our thermometer. I have another thermometer. This one's a little smaller. This is one that I could hang up by a window and see what the temperature is every day. But I'm going to use it to just kind of show you how the line works. So in the thermometer is this red liquid. And this red liquid's called mercury. And this is what helps us read what the temperature is. So the water, cold water has certain bubbles and hot water has certain bubbles. And when we dip the thermometer in the cold water or it's cold out, that air causes the mercury to go down. When it's hot or warm, the mercury goes up in the thermometer. And I'm going to do my best to try and show it to you on the camera, but it's not super easy. So if moms or dads or someone you know, like a grandma or a grandpa, someone you might see, if you have access to a thermometer, you could even try this at home. But you can kind of see that red mercury. So it looks like it's about 75 degrees. It's probably picking up about what my house temperature is right now. But I have 2 cups of water. I have warm and I have cold. So I'm going to stick it in the cold water and watch and see if you can see that mercury go down. I might hold it back a little. Try and tip my computer. Oh, it definitely fell down. I'll pull it out so you can see it. Don't want drips on my computer, but you can see that it did go down from where it was before. Now I have a cup of hot water, so I'll dip it in the hot water and I'll show you it in a second. So, and when I dipped it in, I saw that red go up. Like I said, if you have a thermometer at home, you can test this out. You could see it go up and down with cold and hot water. So I'll pull it out. You can see it did go up. Look at that. Cool, right? Again, this would be great if you have access to a thermometer at home to try it at home. But that's how a thermometer works. I hope you enjoyed our lesson about learning about a thermometer.